This morning, I had two stories and a song from my childhood that came into my heart, into my spirit to share here. The song goes like this: He will save you, He will save you, He will save you just now. Just now, He will save you, He will save you just now. King Nebuchadnezzar made an image of gold that was 90 feet high and 9 feet wide and set it up on the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then he summoned together all his satraps, prefects, governors, advisors, treasurers, judges, magistrates, and other provincial officials to come to the dedication of the image of gold that he had set up. So, all the satraps, prefects, governors, advisors, treasurers, judges, magistrates, and other provincial officials came to the dedication of the image of gold that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. And they stood on the plain of Dura before the image. Then the herald loudly proclaimed, "This is what you are commanded to do, O peoples of every nation and language. As soon as you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipes, and all kinds of music, you must fall down and worship the image of gold that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. And whoever does not fall down and worship the image will immediately be thrown into the blazing furnace." So, as soon as they heard the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipes, and all kinds of music, all the peoples of every nation and language fell down and worshiped the image of gold that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Now, at this time, some Chaldeans or astrologers said to King Nebuchadnezzar, "O king, you have issued a decree that everyone who hears the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipes, and all kinds of music must bow down and worship the image of gold that you have set up. And whoever does not fall down and worship the image of gold, well, they will be immediately thrown into the blazing furnace." Now, there are some Hebrews whom you have set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who pay no attention to you, O king. They neither serve your gods nor worship the image of gold that you have set up. Furious with rage, King Nebuchadnezzar summoned Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and these men were brought before him. And King Nebuchadnezzar said to them, "Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you neither serve my gods nor worship the image of gold that I have set up? Now, when you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipes, and all kinds of music, if you are ready to bow down and worship the image, then very good. But if you do not, then you will immediately be thrown into the blazing furnace. Then what God is able to rescue you from my hand?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered the king and said, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. And if we are thrown into the blazing furnace, then the God we serve is able to save us from it, and he will rescue us from your hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know that we will not serve your gods nor worship the image of gold that you have set up." King Nebuchadnezzar was outraged. He was so infuriated that his face became contorted, and he ordered that the furnace be heated up 7 times hotter than usual. He commanded some of the strongest soldiers in the army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw him into the blazing furnace. So these men wearing their turbans, their robes, their trousers, and other clothes, were bound and thrown into the blazing furnace. The king's command was so urgent and the furnace was so hot that the flames of the fire killed the soldiers who took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these men, firmly bound, fell into the blazing fire. Then King Nebuchadnezzar leaped to his feet in amazement, and he asked his advisors, weren't there 3 men that we threw into the blazing furnace? And they answered, certainly, O king. And he said, but look, I see 4 men walking around in the furnace, unbound and unharmed. Then King Nebuchadnezzar made his way to the furnace, and he shouted, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out, come here. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the blazing furnace. And the satraps, prefects, governors, advisors, all gathered around them, and they saw for themselves that their bodies were not harmed. The hair on their head was not singed, their clothes were not scorched, and there wasn't even the smell of smoke on them. Then King Nebuchadnezzar said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He sent his angels to rescue his servants. They defied the king's decree, and they were willing to give up their lives rather than serve or worship any god other than their own. Therefore, I decree that the peoples of any nation or language who say anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be chopped up into pieces, and their houses turned into piles of rubble. For no other God is able to rescue in this way. Oh yeah, get this. Then King Nebuchadnezzar promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Only trust him. Only trust him. Only trust him just now. Just now. Only trust him. Only trust him just now. You know, there's a story in the New Testament where Jesus had just divided 5 loaves and 2 fish among 5,000 people. And after that day on that Galilean hillside, when the disciples had gathered together all of the leftover broken pieces of bread and fish, immediately Jesus made them get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side of the lake while he dismissed the crowd. And after he had dismissed the crowd, Jesus went up on a hillside by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone. But by this time, the boat was a considerable distance from shore, about 3.5 miles out or about halfway across the lake, being tossed by the waves because the wind was against it. During the 4th watch of the night, or about 3 a.m. in the morning, Jesus went out to the disciples walking on the lake. When the disciples saw Jesus walking on the lake, they were terrified. It's a ghost, they shouted and cried out in fear. Immediately Jesus said, Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid. Lord, if it is you, Peter said, tell me to come to you on the water. And Jesus said, Come. And Peter got down out of the boat and walked on the water. and made his way toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me!" And immediately, Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. Oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt? When they had climbed into the boat, the wind died down, and those who were in the boat worshiped Jesus, saying, "Truly, truly, you are the Son of God." Come to Jesus, come to Jesus, come to Jesus just now, just now. Come to Jesus, come to Jesus just now, and he will save you. He will save you. He will save you just now, just now. He will save you. He will save you just now. Mm-hmm. 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 Just now, he will save you. He will save you just now. Amen.